Logical psychiatry. This video is going to generally talk about various different things, but one thing to start with. If you remember the one topic that I discussed when it came to this woman, right here wanted to act like she was all put together. She was all strong and self-assured type of a person. The one thing is, she's not. She kept on claiming. She kept on saying repeatedly, at least about 4 separate times, if not less than that, that she wanted a quality man, a man that would celebrate her as a woman, a man that would do things for her, a man that would uplift her and and give help her get her hopes and dreams. Forget about the man and his hopes and dreams, though, right? Right? If she's watching, if she is watching, she knows that I have talked about her before. So has brother MGTOW brother Undead Chronic talked about this very woman right here. She doesn't. She kept on saying, "I want a quality man. I want a man that would uplift me, celebrate me, and help me reach my hopes and dreams." She doesn't want just a man. She wants a quality. There's no difference. There's no difference. She doesn't realize that, does she? Do you think? No, no. Do you honestly think that this woman right here thinks that she knows the difference between an actual man and a quality man and a normal, realistic, logically minded person of a male? And if she's watching, you don't know jack diddle of what a quality man is. A quality man is not one plate laced with gold and always in a tuxedo and strong and self confident. It could be a person that's let loose and everything. But the one thing, as I mentioned in the video, is that she does not know that one, she needs to uplift herself, and if she's not able to do that within herself, then she's not ready for a relationship with a male. She needs to learn how to reach her own hopes and dreams. She does not need another secondary person to help her with that, especially when it comes to the base of money, because that's really what she's really after, is to where while she tries to reach her hopes and dreams, she'll gradually drain the male of his finance. And she wants the male to be what Undead Chronic said, a workhorse. Psychologically, she is completely desperate. And psychologically, she does not know truly of what she wants and when she truly wants it. She's only doing her desperate move by putting herself on social media known as YouTube and putting herself out there, in a matter of speaking, and showing how desperate she really is, even though at the same time she's trying to cover up that desperate look and feel within herself. When a woman does that, many other men may not be able to see that. But if you really, really, really take the time to look at it, and if you watch my other video of logical psychiatry with her on it, speaking along with the undead chronic men saying his half of it, right? You'll notice that she does not know what she wants. She's just majorly fucking desperate. She wants she wants a companion. There's nothing wrong with that though. But not I'm putting it out there. There's nothing wrong with wanting a person to spend your life with. But the only thing is, she wants it something that is only to benefit her. She wants only one to benefit her needs and wants and her dreams. And she only wants a person to uplift her because she doesn't know how to uplift herself. So generally, undead chronic MGTOW brother is not wrong. She does want a workhorse. She doesn't care if the male has his own hopes and dreams and wants and needs. She only wants him to. Only wants the workhorse male to focus on her and what she wants and what she wants for her. As she gradually drains his finances, as he works hard for his financial attributes and whatnot, and his financial stature, while she drains him gradually, and while she claims to want to be reaching her hopes and dreams and her wants and needs. I had a, I can tell you one thing. I helped a woman many years ago. I'd say around the mid part of the millennium. I believe it was around 2012 or so, or 2011, something like that. Somewhere in the millennium anyway. It was many years before we are where we're at in 2019. Um, she needed a place to live. Um, to where she'd be able to have an established place to be to put on her applications while she looked for work, right? But yet she already had a boyfriend that worked at Nerds on Call in Sacramento, on Marconi Avenue, of all places. He's probably at the larger location on Fair Oaks Boulevard. But um, or in Fair Oaks area, the Fair Oaks area, anyway. But anyway, um, she wanted a place to stay to where she can put the address and everything for to show that she had a place of residence, right? And instead, she only looked for work only 2 out of the 1 times. The rest of the time, while she was living at my place rent free, well, she went in to go towards the My Little Pony conventions. She's gone to 3 of them near the end of her welcomed stay. Not one other time has she gone out to look for employment. That was the only stipulation. She would be able to stay at my place if she actually was serious enough to look for employment. It was as tough as it is in Sacramento currently to look for employment, but at least start with any fast food joint. It wouldn't really matter, but she didn't go to that. And so she kept on just doing the My Little Pony conventions, and she was known as, I guess, one of the bronies or whatever. Well, I don't know how they establish them, um, but she kept on going to those way more often, and to the 0 points of looking for employment. She had a boyfriend, so generally, as long I guess she figured that as long as he's working, she doesn't really have to work. But the only thing is that in order for her to remain there, she had to put her name on a lease. But she knew at the same time her boyfriend would not fork up the money to put herself on the lease. Then if she put herself on the lease, I wouldn't have had to do what I had to do, which basically shows my hands were fucking tied. I didn't want to do it, but at the same time, in a way, it's a good thing I did. And that one thing is that I just told her I have to ask you to leave before the 14 days. This was in Carmichael at the time. And then from then on, she called me nuts, crazy, a lunatic, the whole enchilada, right? I mean, every practically illogical, sinful name in the book. She couldn't realize the fucking fact that, one, I didn't say she can look for work whenever the hell she wanted to. I didn't say she could uh, go to go to conventions more than looking for work. I didn't say neither of any base of the sort. I said if she's going to be looking for work, she could stay at my place. So generally, her calling me crazy and whatnot is not applicable. Therefore, she had no logical reason to, and there was no logical stance for it either. So therefore, I'm not in the wrong. She is. Okay. And the last I heard that she was over in Frisco working for some candy shop or something in San Francisco, California. As far as I know, she broke it off with the Nerds on Call dude, or the dude might have either went with her to Frisco to a possible Nerds on Call location out there. Who's to say? But logically, she had no logical reason to call me crazy. Or like if I was a lunatic, just because I told her, hey, my hands are tied, which they were, metaphorically. She had only 14 days to be out the door. And, and as I said earlier, she's only gone maybe to look for work 2 out of the 1 times. The rest of the times was My Little Pony conventions. So she's not any better than women like she's not any better than women like this little fucking feminist little bitch. She is the epitome of what men should not go for. She's the epitome, and so is the one I mentioned that I helped out. Is also the epitome for that men should not go for. Now I'm gonna. I know what you're probably asking. If she was attractive, would you still let her live with you? Yes. I'm a person that would help people any way I can within reason. I do that as an advocate, as a humanitarian, and generally as a caring spiritual human being. But I am no man, although of course I know there's men out there, but I'm not the type of man that would exhibit the same thing that she exhibits on this video. Oh, I want a quality man. That's her. I want a man that celebrates me, uplifts me. That's her right there. That's what she said on the video. And she wants, basically, as under Chronic said again, she wants a workhorse that only focuses on her. Logically, that is not realistic because a man has more hopes and dreams than what any woman, even this one, may see and realize. And if the woman really truly cared, she would see that he has wants and needs beyond from where he is at right now in his own life. But no, all she can focus on is on her. And what she doesn't realize, she can focus on her when she's single, being that, of course, right now she's a single mother. But if you're with a man, it's not 60-40, 80-20, or 80-10. It's 50-50. She has an issue with that though. She obviously doesn't want it to be 50-50. She obviously only wants it to be her percentage higher than the males. Her percentage would be higher in the whole relationship situation, and the males would be way lower at her discretion. She needs professional help, and I can help her. And I can easily, if there's nothing I can do within psychological aspects, I can lead her to ones that easily would help her out to where she can be more than emotionally, psychologically balanced and mentally balanced. To where she knows it's not only about her in relationships. To where she knows it's not about her if she wants a man to be with her, and it's not about what she wants, and it's not about what she needs, and it's not about only to be for her to be uplifted. If she can, like I said in my other video about her, is that if she cannot uplift herself, then she's not ready for a relationship. She doesn't deserve to be in a relationship. If she cannot reach her own hopes and dreams and her her own goals. Because you don't need money, another person's money for that. You don't need a male's money. Women don't need a male's money for that crap. You don't need a man to be emotionally uplifting. If you can't emotionally uplift yourself, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. Uh-uh. No, 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 no. So, I'm going to show you another person here that has almost the same illogical, psychological issue, which would be, let's see, oh, what do you know? I don't have it here. Or do I? There is one woman. There's one woman that I know that she wanted the men to be subservient to the woman. She wanted the man to be thinking that, oh, he could just walk up to her, offer her to go to under the umbrella if it's raining, and she doesn't know the person worth a damn, and he doesn't know her worth a damn either. So therefore, there's no way to determine um, uh, their true intentions, right? But that didn't matter to her, though, did it? She only wanted her to show. She wanted to just show that she was desperate, as well as the one I showed you in the first part of this video. She wanted to show that she knew the way men should be. Oh, the way a strong, confident, self-assured man is not smart. The way a man is being strong and confident and self-assured is stupid, as she called it in the beginning parts of the video. But a subservient man, a man to do whatever the woman wants and whatever the woman needs, where the man has to be basically at at the woman's beck and call, basically. That's the man that men should be. Basically, MGTOW version, blue pill, mangina, simp. No. If women cannot accept the man for being a strong, self-assured, confident, well-to-do person, especially if he's looking for work, or if he's financially stable in any way, that's able, or he's able to make it, but he would also be able to make it even with having a relationship still, then they should accept the man for that to start. And the fact that he's kind and caring and whatnot else. But the basic fact is, you cannot expect a man to do what the woman wants 100% of the time. Because it's not about the woman 100% of the time. It's not about the woman's wants, needs, dreams, expectations, and shit like that. The man also has wants, needs, dreams, expectations, and future thought and viewings and whatnot. Just as much as a woman does, if not more. So both women are in need of some serious, serious psychological help. And also they're showing they're too fucking desperate. They want a man to be subservient to them. They don't want a real true man to be strong, confident, and self assured. They want a man to be kneeling to the woman's needs and wants and what have you. If you go onto YouTube, you'll see there's a video that MJ Chronic MGTOW Brother shows that woman that mentions hold the door open for a woman, um, lend your coat over to the woman. She'll mention things like things like, oh, if it's raining, um, offer offer your umbrella to the woman while you and her are under the umbrella. That woman is completely desperate. She's only referring things for her. She's not really really relaying things for any other female in the female gender. She's only relaying things for her, the way she sees, the way she views men, and she had respect and consideration for men. No, she only had respect and consideration for her. She only has only viewings for her. No, not the man. If if it was up to her, she'd have every man bow to her like she's fucking Queen Elizabeth. She's not. And I hope Queen Elizabeth doesn't take that as offense, which I'm not using. I'm not trying to use her as the actual Queen Elizabeth as an insult or a mocking or whatnot. But I'm just giving an example of the fact that the woman that I'm referring to is that she wants that the two women that I showed you on each one of my videos, MGTOW and the logical psychiatry, the one I just showed you, the one I just showed you now, especially, um, they want men to only do what services the woman, them, their own selves. They don't because and yet they know that every woman wants things differently. Every woman doesn't want a man to be to be a simp, a weakling, a blue pill, a mangina. But the two women I mentioned do, obviously. That goes to the points of where they are both showing desperation, and desperation goes with the deep emotional, psychological aspect of being lonely, and they don't want to be lonely anymore. It's understandable if they're lonely, but using those attributes on a social media video site is not very attractive. Is not forthcoming for the female. And I know as a McDad brother, you wouldn't hear that. You don't think you'd hear that from me, but I'm using it. I'm going by the aspect of psychology, reality, logic, factual base of humanity, human emotions, both male and female. And the one thing in the mid beginning part of the video of the same woman that said, "Offer your jacket, hold the door open, um, offer to have the woman under your umbrella if it's raining." She also said, "Did your parents ever teach you anything? Common courtesy." As if she thinks that, yeah, that every man out there is not does not show their own level of common courtesy to anyone, even if they have no attraction or interest into the woman or the person in question. Therefore, she sins for doing that spiritually. And also, she sins for saying things are stupid because there's no woman, not even the woman that 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 said, "Hold the door open for the woman. Offer your jacket to for her if it's freezing. Offer your umbrella for her to be under your umbrella if it's raining." She was not put on this planet. No woman on this, no woman in existence was put on the planet to make fast, illogical, and rude, negative judgments such as that or anything else. Doesn't matter what the reason is and why, and anything beyond. The female gender has very different ways of thinking. Every guy knows. But the women that I explained that are on YouTube through Undead Chronic, and one that I was able to find that of her own video that showed the very first the full length video, is they do not know what they want. They're just wanting to put out there as if they know what they know. All they're doing is showing emotional psychological desperation, emotional psychological thinking that they know men more than men know themselves, which is a load of shit. Because women don't know truly every man. They only know the men that they've been around and dated, and the men possibly around them, like their brothers or and nephews and uncles and such like that, and maybe their male friends, basically, who should not be in the friend zone. And every man would know, even MGTOW men know why men go into the friend zone because they want to wait and see if there's going to be an open door to where they can pound it, pound them in a sexual manner. Now, really think about that. If males and females think about that seriously, and I know there's going to be males and females watching this video, and if Undead Chronic is watching this video, he knows he would agree with what I've said so far. I'm sure. In fact, I might have informed him on many other things that he may not have thought of, but that's okay. Everybody has different ways of thinking and coming up with actual facts. Facts. Now, the complexity of women may seem to many men as mm, as more than be that of course more than complex than the male, but to the women, men are complex in some respect, or in numbers of respects, however they want to look at it. But there's no true complexity where you're not able to figure that out the person. If you've been raised around women like I have, if you've been around women as much as I have, from not only from birth on up, but um, not even from the aspect of growing up, but also if you've been around women as well as your male friends. I mean, we already know how males can be. Us men know how males can be. Women claim to know how women can be, like the women I mentioned on that are on YouTube. The basic fact is that there's a big, huge difference there. The women may only know how certain women on their own same wavelength of thought. Maybe there are women with the same wavelength of thought and whatnot, but they don't think them at the same time. But they have the same wavelength either way. Each one has a different wavelength. Same thing with men, though. There are men that have the same wavelength, but they don't always think about the same thing every within the same time base. They may act upon the same thing, but not on the same time base. This is both women and men. So the woman that claims to judge a man or men in general by and also assuming that women wouldn't mind a man holding an umbrella over her head, even though she doesn't know him worth a damn, or he just comes out of the blue type of thing. She's completely only directing that aspect to her only of what she would accept. Same thing with the coat thing. Same thing with the door thing. Although it's logical that if a man holds open the door, but don't expect. You cannot truly expect a woman to give you the acknowledgement all the time, because it's true. What even when which I already knew that even undead chronic MGTOW brother said is that they won't even acknowledge you. They'll just thank you. That's it. If that. Sometimes they'll just walk right by. If not most of the time, if they see a door open, they'll just walk right by, not noticing that that someone's holding the door open. You know that's a, that's just a basic truth right there. So to the woman who had that video, hold open the door, open for the woman. Share your jacket. Share the umbrella. Share it. If you're watching, everything on this video that I've said and will be saying, and possibly all the way to the very end of this video, you better take heed to it, because I would not lie to anybody. I am a humanitarian advocate. I would never lie about the things I talk about on my videos there, under both CRPHA and under NCHA. But mostly, you'll see more videos now under CRPHA. But anyway, getting back on to what I was saying, is that now, if the woman that I showed you, that she wants, where she says she wants a quality man and all this other good, the basic fact is that both women that I mentioned are in desperation. But the woman that I mentioned that I helped out, she was like in her 20s at the time. I can care less how old she is now. And to be honest, and I don't like saying this, but I don't care if she's really alive or not. Really. Because if she has the gumption to call me things that I'm not, when she knew the only reason why I helped her by having a place of residence to where she can find a job, it wasn't to where she can be happy-go-lucky and say, oh, okay, I can go to a My Little Pony convention. I don't necessarily have to look for work as long as I have a place to live. There was only one apartment complex that would have allowed that, possibly. If I met the same woman that went to the My Little Pony conventions before I met my now ex-wife, the mother of my two children, I am sure that she'd be able to do that. But the one thing is, eventually I would go to the point and say, you wanted a place to live to where you can get a place to where you can have a place of residence to put on the applications to where you can find a job. But yet now you're going to my Little Pony conventions. There is something wrong there. In order for you to have a place of residence, you need to stick with the one main reason why you're here. You didn't mention about going to any My Little Pony conventions in between, or more than looking for a job. I would tell her that straight out. And if she's watching this video, that's the truth of what I said as well. And if she ever wanted to get in touch with me again, it would be not very likely that I'd want to see her, because once a person helps you and then you call them names, as she called me, even through Google plus little chat thing, right? The messenger thing, right? But I can tell you one thing: if I ever do help another woman like that, I will make it damn straight on that if she is to live with me, she has to look for employment. Do not go to the points of looking for employment whenever the fuck you feel like it. Do not go to the points of to going to conventions with your boyfriend or friends. Um, more so than looking for employment. When the fucking fact is that you said you were going to look for a job in the fucking first place before you even moved into the place. That was offered by the person such as myself. After you get established into the employment thing, and if you're still living in the same residence, and to where you have your name on the lease eventually, then guess what? You can go to My Little Pony conventions after work, or even on your days off, all you want. But you have to show the same you have to show still respect and consideration to the person that helped you out. She didn't. The woman I helped that I mentioned earlier that went to mostly the My Little Pony conventions with her boyfriend did not take any part of that into consideration. If she did, then more often than not, she wouldn't have called me a name, and she would have understood when I told her that the management told me she had only 14 fucking days. I didn't word it that way exactly, but she had 14 days to put her name on the list or get or leave. Now the one thing is, I'm sure she's probably thinking that, probably saying to the screen, "Yeah, if I didn't have a boyfriend, you'd probably want me to be with you." I had my other issues, stuff like, but I met my children's mother before I met her, so years before I met her. So basically, I had that to deal with, among other things. And so basically, if she says that if she didn't have the boyfriend that worked at Nerds on Call, that I'd want to be with her. The basic fact is that I don't go to that extent. If the woman wants to be with me, she has to show it. If the woman wants to be with me, she has to prove herself to me. Because every man proves them to the woman. And sometimes it's acceptable to the woman, sometimes it's not. And sometimes when it's acceptable to the woman, and it's logical, and sometimes it's not logical because the woman may want something way beyond what's realistic. Be that, of course, the points of unrealism. It's happening even in today's day and age. It happened in the 1990s, happened in the late 80s, it happened in the beginning of the millennium. There hasn't been any diversion, diverted course to where it goes from the way it is, the way I said it, to something better on that aspect. Logical psychiatry is just that. Mm, tells people the truth, fact, reality, and logic. It can be also spiritual truth as well. Now, every woman has their own needs and wants, but the one thing is, so does every other man have their own needs and wants. But the one one additional part to it is that if the woman wants certain things, they have to be going to the realistic aspects and standards and levels and wavelengths and what have you. If they say that they will and that they are going to do that, especially in relationships, they can't go by what they feel what is when it's really not. Even though there's different viewings of what's realistic and what's not by each different person. You need to really think about what you really want, what's more important to you at that given point in time. Because if it's just to get, and for the women, if it's just to get a man, and then to where he focuses on your want, you, and where you want him to uplift you, and where you want him to allow you to go to your your expectations and dreams and what have you, while you gradually drain his finances, and to where you ignore his hopes and dreams and wants and expectations and such, then you don't really want a man. In fact, you're not ready for a relationship. Same if it's in reverse, it would be the same for a man on that same aspect. On that aspect, it may be reversed, but it still lays the same. It still equals the same aspect. It doesn't matter if you're mentally ill or chronologically ill in some mm, mannerism, physical or otherwise. You still need to go by what I said because it's logic and reality. If you're not willing to do that, and if you think you know what's best more than the man does, and if you think you know that you can get the man to do what you want and to ignore what he wants, his wants and needs, then you are one disturbed person. Therefore, you need to be with you. You do not deserve to be in a relationship because no man is going to allow you to get away with you what you want 100% of the time, and to where the man has to ignore what he wants. The man deserves equal as much as you do, if not more, but at the same time, not to. In all logic, everybody deserves the same level. And with the fact that both male and females, deserve the same level and the amount of things. It goes with their expectations, wants, and needs, their futures, what they would want for themselves, to better themselves. Everything that you can think of, it has to be equal. It, women want it to be where it's only more for them and less for the guy. The more a woman goes to where, oh, it's better for us women to get more than the male. I know that could freak you out. It freaked a number of my old classmates that when I did that. I sounded like exactly like a woman. But the basic fact is, it's the truth of what I said. And if you're not willing to connect with that and more than relate with that and actually accept that aspect of reality and logic, then you don't want to be with you don't want to be in a relationship with a man. You don't want a long standing marriage. I mean, it's bad enough if there's something that if the woman doesn't agree with or doesn't feel comfortable or happy enough to be with a man in the relationship or marriage that they the general marriage essentially that the woman goes into the point either cheating on him or literally just divorces his ass and tries to get alimony along with child support. That is if they have a child together or children together. Thinking at the same time while they're about to have the child or children that they're going to stay with each other for a long ass time. As the old marriage vows are saying, to death do us part, tell us part, whatever in that sense, right? But the end result is that the divorce rate heightens even more, higher than it is now, for example. And what does the court system mostly favor? Which gender? It's not the male. Of course, there are some cases to where if the guy has more than a stable um, income in the sense of employment and a stable workplace, um, that the courts will not always, but on various different occasions, favor the man, especially when it comes to custody of the child or children. But that's practically almost close to nil when that actually happens. If that happens at all. But what happens to the woman in this case? What do you think? What do you think is happening to the woman I showed you on this video, on this phone here? What do you think happens to her or women like her that has children, but that's also single? Regardless of how the way she looks, they may date her, they may do things with and for her, only to a certain extent, though maybe. But it's sadly though, it is said that if a guy sees that she has children, he's out that door. He has nothing. He doesn't want nothing to do with her ever again. And in my experience, it's been to where if the woman gives it up to him, that while she thinks that she's found the right person, where she just spreads her legs, right, and he pounds her sexually, but with the fact that he already knows that she has children, he's out that door. And if at all, the woman hears no more from that same person. It's true. Although in some respect it could be said the same way with men now too. But the only thing is, with men, it seems, in my experience, is that if the woman finds out you've had children in your not so recent past, especially, it's highly unlikely that they'll want to connect with you. And if they don't know that you have children, but if they come into your place and somehow or another they find out you have children of your own, even if the physical bodies of the children are not around, same. It's although in some other aspects it's more than likely for the man, and this is only on some different very variable percentage. Okay, it's more easier for the man to have a woman even though he has children from his previous marriage or his past marriage. It's a lot easier on that aspect than it is for the woman on to go down for to be going down that direction. Case in point, there has been many cases that to where a woman is dating a man. The man knows that she has a child or children of her own. The father is still paying her alimony and also child support. The man still the new man in her life is still dating her and doing things with her and with her children and her at various different points. The child in this case would see him as their possible new father. Then, as Tom Likas even mentioned, is that 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 the child see would somewhat have an emotional connection to the new male, the new quote unquote father figure, even if it's not official at that point in time. And then eventually, as Tom Likas has said more than once on this one, is that he said that the woman would easily go to courts to where the new man, the new male, is drained of his finances by the woman, even though they're still seeing each other. And there are courts that will do that, even if you're not the father, if you're not biologically the father to that child. But if the child still sees you and accepts you as the new father figure. Courts in California have done that. Courts in many other states have done that. Tom Likas has said it more than once on YouTube. So basically, women cannot say that they don't get what they want. Because if the court system has been more than favoring the woman, even in divorce and custody disputes, then one, their desperation is out for nothing. Emotionally and psychologically, it might be they want some sort of emotional connection. That's a different thing altogether. Emotional psychological connection with another human being is a totally separate thing. And but the one thing is that if they're not even with that emotional psychological connection with another human being of the opposite gender to start with, if they're not happy, then hello court system, thank you for all the things that you've done for me in the past. That's the that's the base of the woman right there. But do they even acknowledge that aspect, even if it's happened for them in their past? But they're just more than giddied that it's there for them. And they think at the same time, though, too, is that there's many. I'm not saying all, but there are women out there that will think that even if the male's well-to-do, they'll still be able to drain for after they marry him, after they marry the well-to-do person, and gradually drain the guy, right? That the guy still wouldn't be well-to-do, and and the guy would still be able to be taken for everything he has, even when it comes to the actual dollar bill, the concept of cash. But when that happens, guess what happens? As I said before, only a variable percentages that the man would win custody of the child, even if it is not his biological child in the divorce dispute in the court. And their women don't really acknowledge, though. Not very many, if any, women acknowledge that general percentage because they know that because they believe that the higher the more than likely percentage is toward their favor, or the woman is favored in the court system in divorce dispute, especially when it comes to custody and alimony and whatnot else, and the child support, which is the whatnot part of the whatnot else. Pretty baffling, isn't it? Of all the things I've said, the more you think about it, it rings true. What else do you think would be an actuality that the woman would accept, or even for that fact, for that matter, for the woman, what the male would accept? And took my shoes off just so that you know. Anyway, what do you think? Or do you think all the things that I mentioned are pretty much the whole that be all? And if you were to if you were to talk about this particular thing and show, and even before you even show her this video, she would more than likely deny it. There are males out there that would have no clue about it because they haven't really been, either they haven't been through it or they don't really acknowledge it, any of it, because they don't believe it to be happening, to be an actuality, even though they may have heard it being said by various numbers of people at various different points of where they were, and if they heard any discussion about it or even saying about it. But on that aspect, that does mean that they're not going to say, well, no, that's not true. They haven't really been in that particular position. That's why it's not so applicable to many people or substantial or generally. Oh, that's true. Now, but if they've had friends or family members that have gone through that shit, then more often than not, yeah, they'll see it. They'll know it to be true, even if they haven't gone through it yet, or if at all. But if you were to talk to a woman about what I just said, they will more than utterly deny it. And I'm just saying, not all women will deny it. There are some women that actually use the actual logic, and it would basically agree with it. But there are women; those same women can easily turn the tides, as it were, and say no, it's not true about us women. And though a number of them will say, "Well, the person that you heard on the video is just and and he hates women, or he doesn't like the fact that he's single, or any number of things that would even go towards the points of attacking me. Even though if they really think, even after watching everything I said in the very video, along with the other video that I mentioned earlier in the beginning part of this video, it will finally go. Oh my goodness, he knows what women have tried to hide for so many centuries. I don't know how that could be. Oh, believe me, I have ways. I'm itching my upper lip. um, I have ways to find out things. To even as I research things, even as an advocate. And I know the base of what what many people also quote, in which is a Star Trek saying, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. To me, seeing that I'm a humanitarian, I consider everybody, even the one, equally important. And I would do everything in my power to make sure that the many, as well as the few and the one, are equally safe and protected. My father was a Marine, and I am a humanitarian advocate. Therefore, I also saved a person, an old friend of mine that I knew in Mountain View. I saved his ass from being roadkill, from being hit by a U-Haul truck, essentially. Be that I've said this to many women, even to my now ex-wife, and even if a woman believes me or not, they don't know me well enough to know if I'm that type of a person that would do that. Case in point, I had two friends and myself. We were crossing the street on El Camino, heading towards where Tower Records used to be on El Camino on San Antonio. We were crossing the street from the Los Altos shopping center, right across the street from the old World Savings shopping plaza. Part, where the Longs used to be and all that, right? The one of my friends that was right in the middle of my other, between myself and my other friend, he stepped off the center divide, thinking everything's all hunky dory, all everything's all clear, right? I look over behind my other friend. I see U-Haul truck coming right off of San Antonio Road, heading from Los Altos. The person comes right off of San Antonio Road, turns onto the left turn, and as he makes that one left turn onto the left turn lane, right, comes right down, and before the U-Haul truck goes right by us, I'm like this, like that. A slow mo would be like this, like that. Essentially, I grabbed his collar and his hood and the windbreaker hood jacket thing, right, and pulled him back up, and he was like this, and the U-Haul truck goes right by us. Then eventually of course, we crossed the street safely, even though it was not a legal thing to do, but we did it anyways. And from that day on, he thanked me for saving his life. And even when I saw him over at the Century 16 at the Century Cinema Theaters, I don't know what it's called now, but it's probably still a theater. But who's to say? He even said that his parents even want him to thank me for it. So, ladies, you could tell that now that I am the type of person that would do that. I haven't forgotten. And there may be a time to where I may, at some point or another within my lifetime, but who's to say? Now, I'm not on this thing to pick up women, but if a woman wants to get to know me, hey, all she has to do is prove herself to me. But the one thing is, oh, here's another one too. Women think they are so entitled. There are women out there that think that they are so entitled that they should get a man to have a man pay for every little thing that they want, even if you're not married to them. There's a different aspect. If you're dating them, fine. But if you're not dating them and they still want you to pay their way to you, I paid my way to see a woman many years ago in Chico. I went from the Bay Area to Chico. She offered to pay my way up. I said no. I did, but yet the women I've run into, even online, expect me to send them money or buy them a ticket to where they can supposedly come over. But the one thing is, women don't realize, those same women don't realize you can't cash tickets in for cash. Because once that's paid for, you either get your ass over here, over to where the guy is, even though it's already paid for and waiting, and you cannot cash it in, or the guy gets the money back, um, if at all. Sometimes there's no refunds, but hey, yeah. Actually, most of the time, really, there's no refund. So no male should pay for the woman's way to the male. If the tables were turned, the woman wouldn't do that for the man. Although I'm not saying all women are like that. There are women that would, but even with the fact that there are men that would, but yet if a man does it, more often than not, the woman wouldn't even head and take the initiative to actually head over to see the man, even though they said they would online, which basically is a ploy. Could be seen as a ploy. Be that, of course, known as a scam, a scheme. Mm, the women that do this type of thing don't think that you know or are aware of the general possibilities of them actually not really intending to come over to you. So generally, it would be logical for the woman to pay her own way if she really wants to come to be with you. It would be the same thing for you to pay your own way to see the woman. So it kind of goes both ways. Actually, no, it wouldn't, not really kind of, but it totally goes both ways. So again, if those women that I mentioned are watching and heard everything I said about them, and yet if they want to deny it, and if they want to talk with me and try to make themselves feel better by putting me down right in front of my face, go ahead and try. Okay, you won't succeed though. But I can easily help people out that are in the same situation as desperation as I showed you of the one to start with. And I know I showed you another one on my MGTOW videos. The one I said that said again, open the door for the woman. Share your umbrella if it's raining. Share it. Lend your jacket over to the woman. Basically, even if it's practically 40 below zero, even somewhere close, but still cold enough to be feeling like that. Uh, and it doesn't matter if the male is cold, as long as the woman's not cold. It's not the woman's fault that they forgot to bring the jacket and didn't think that it was going to be freezing cold within any part of the day. That's her. That was her mindset. But really, it's not really. It was. But she wanted to act like it was again directed to for when it comes to every woman on this planet. When really she was only directing it for her. And she wanted men to lower. Oh, that's the standards of a man. The high standards of a man is stupid. That's what she called stupid. I just remember that same woman considered our male high standards are stupid. We should lower them. But it's okay to have for the woman to have high standards. That was another part of her mindset. Stupid, stupid, stupid. That woman is completely illogical. sinful, unrealistic, and doesn't give a damn about the male at all, no matter how much she says that she does. She only is only thinking of numero uno, herself. No man wants a selfish little bitch. No man wants a selfish woman who only benefits herself and only wants things to benefit for her and her only. That's true. Although there are some hornballs out there that would only go for the woman only for one thing. Try to go as far as they can to the points to where they would give the woman anything they want, especially when it comes to the money aspect, the cost aspect. And then suddenly, when the guy gets what they want, they're never heard from again. And that's another reality of of um of men, though. Sadly enough, I'm not saying all men. I'm not. I'm not like that at all. But I know there are men out there that are. But at the same time, the women are pretty much just identical the same way. But if they are not satisfied with a man, you probably never hear from them again, unless they can't find anybody else that fill their needs. Then there then maybe there might be a veritable occasion that you will. Till such time they can find someone else, then they'll go that direction, if at all. Or if they find that you've changed in some way or another that would fit them or suit them. Forget about the fact that you find certain things that suits you, the male, that suits the male. Forget about that, right? Right, ladies? Doesn't work that way at all. If you cannot respect and accept the man for who they are and how they are, especially when it comes to their standards and their wants, needs, and dreams, and you want them only to focus on you and your wants, needs, and dreams, and the base of uplifting and celebrating the woman, then you're not really ready for a man, and you're not really ready for a relationship. And I don't care how much you disagree with what I've said about women compared to the male gender. I don't care because you're only denying what's in actuality because you don't want to admit the truth because it's too damaging, emotionally damaging for the woman to admit what I said to be the truth. Obviously, they're too afraid of the truth, just like the liberal Democrats are too afraid of the fact that if they told the American people that their true objective, they would lose support and backing from the liberal Democratic voters in a political sense. It's not that different. It's only different on the political to human aspect. That's it. But the general focus is not. Women need to really think about that, and they cannot try to hide things from the man of any true or semi-true intent of the woman's true or even semi-true intent, even the one that they will not admit to, even what the woman that is will not admit to. Now, if anybody wants to know more of what I know, even if the women that I've mentioned on this video, and If anybody else needs some psychological help, especially, let me know. On the bottom of the comment section or on my Facebook page of Logical Psychiatry. And if you need some help in the advocating aspect, let me know and my associates know on CRPHA. And if there's anybody who is advocating and wants to discuss certain things when it comes to advocating, come to my Facebook advocating discussion page. And MGTOW brothers, join me on my Logical MGTOW page of Facebook as well. This is Logical Psychiatry. You can call me known as Spock from Star Trek, of course, because I am as knowledgeable as he is on the TV and movie, the TV series and movies. Even though the actual person that played the original character Spock is no longer with us, which is a sad thing. But I will always remember him, and he will always be in my heart, just like he and James Doohan, who I met in person, and of course DeForest Kelly, and also the creator of Star Trek and his now wife, and who wasn't his wife in the very beginning of his creation of Star Trek. Both being Nigel Roddenberry and Gene Roddenberry are also in my heart, and they will also be missed. But also remember, and equally to every other Star Trek actor and actress that's no longer with us, but in my heart memories as well. This is Logical Psychiatry. I want everybody to stay safe and do not get into any illogical, illegal actions and what have you else. And do know that I'm here to help you out, even in a psychological manner, as well as an advocating manner. And please stay safe and drive safe. And may Heavenly Father bless you all.